There's two things that you want to know about me. I love architecture and I love Barbie. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Like nearly everyone on the planet, I am extremely excited for the Barbie movie. I've already ordered the limited edition blue vinyl that is the same as the one that's in the Barbie trailer, and I'm planning the outfit that I'm going to wear at the cinema to go and see it. You can tell I'm a little bit excited about it. When I saw a BuzzFeed article pop up on my timeline where someone created Barbie Dreamhouse for each country using AI, I was extremely excited to see what was produced. These dream houses were made using the AI program Midjourney, which I've dabbled in a little bit in the past, and my feelings on AI in general are pretty mixed. So I don't want to make necessarily a comment on AI art in general in this video. I think a lot of people have said how I feel much better than me. Overall, I'm not a huge fan of it, especially in terms of it being used as art instead of a concept for art. But in any case, I thought it was really neat, and I wanted to bring out a video that was my most anticipated movie of the year, closely followed by Asteroid City, which is coming out for us a little bit later in the year. For this video, I've enlisted the help of my community to rate whether or not we like or dislike each one of the houses, whether they're particularly fitting the theme, whether they're good to look at, would be playable as a Barbie owner, things like that. My community have really good taste, so I felt like I left it in good hands with them. And I really appreciate their assistance on this because I essentially got them to fill out a 196-page Google form, and there were very minimal complaints. So thank you, honestly, thank you so much, because it has been such a fun project and it has really been very community building for me. So thank you, it's been really fun. I'm so glad we got to do this. Just as a disclaimer, I also want to note that the majority of my community are from Australia. And while Australia is a very diverse country culturally, and much of my audience is pretty diverse in their culture as well, there's a high likelihood that the results of this project is going to lean with architecture that they're more familiar with. So I hope that you can understand that potentially we do have that kind of flaw or feature within the community where there's a high likelihood that a European looking house is probably going to be more highly rated than something that we're less familiar with. So I don't want it to detract from anything, but that's just something that I know going into this. So keep that in mind. In this video, we're creating a list of the top 10 Barbie dream houses chosen by my community and have a chat about what they're doing well as review some of the particularly interesting entries into this list. Don't forget, if you'd like to have a look at all of the houses that were created by Midjourney for the BuzzFeed article, I have it linked down below for your enjoyment. Before we check out the top 10, I want to share some of the interesting things that we found out from the data. I'm actually going to show you the bottom 3 listed first, because I think my community were a little bit more vocal about it, and it probably highlights what I said before in that these look a little bit more different than what we're used to, but also Midjourney's fucked. So third to last across all the countries that were reviewed was Uganda. There's something really funky about this entry, in a fun way. I think especially against the background, the house really stands out, and that's really funny to me. I think where it lost points was the stairs situation, which is going to be a recurring theme across this whole video. I think the main thing here personally is I can't really see this being a house that Barbie would be played within. I can't really see Barbie being within this house, whether it be Barbie humanoid or Barbie doll version. I just can't see her in this space. Like, even if you were able to crack it open like an egg and play with it in half and half situation, how are you gonna get to most of the parts of the house? Like, it doesn't seem like a fun play area, but it is interesting and funny. So, you know, say what you will about it. The second to last one here was Angola. And I had the same reaction as the rest of my community, where the yellow in this house just barely makes any sense and doesn't serve any function in the house. I know that there's some yellow in a lot of Barbie features, but predominantly I think most of us were looking for the pink, the signature pink and white. I feel like that's when you think of Barbie, and unless you're thinking of like a holiday Barbie, you're probably likely going to be seeing those colors. So it's not really giving Barbie in this instance. I feel like Barbie is dying in this house. They're just trying to do too much in this house. There are stairs that lead to nowhere and there's very little railing. I'd say it's closer to meeting the luxury Angola architecture benchmark, but it definitely could do better in the Barbie benchmark. I definitely feel like we could have done something more epic for Angola, so I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, Angola. And by far the worst voted Barbie Dreamhouse was Bolivia's. Only one vote was given to this Barbie Dreamhouse. And I think if I wasn't looking at it from a Barbie Dreamhouse perspective, I might have liked it too. It's just too busy to understand what's going on. From what I know of Bolivian architecture, it's not really giving Bolivia either. So I'm curious what sources the AI was pulling from to produce this image. Because from what I've seen of Bolivia, they have some really cool architecture. This is definitely more fitting in with the densely populated areas of Bolivia, but if you were going to have a dream house, you wouldn't want to be in a densely populated area, would you? You'd want to be in the biggest house ever and you and only you were living in it. It's meant to be a dream house ultimately, and I think that it misses the concept of the whole thing. So very disappointing for Bolivia stans out there. Now, I'm from Australia and so are the majority of my audience. So how did we fare? Not good. 50% of my audience liked it, and we got a lot of comments on this one. I marked personally that I liked it because it reminded me of the theme parks in Queensland, like Movie World, Dream World, Wet n Wild, and the kind of architecture that they have for the houses in there, particularly the Big Brother house that is in Dream World, or was in Dream World. It's kind of dilapidated now. It features our red sand, which I think is really sick. And I definitely feel like I'm a little bit alone in enjoying it as much as I do. Like there's definitely more that could have been done with it. But to me, I can see Australia in it, you know? This was a particularly funny comment that we got on the Australian Barbie Dreamhouse. I feel like I'm being too critical, but come on. With Australia's weather, you need a slanted roof. One day of heavy rain and your ceiling bloody caves in. No! Also, I'm choosing to believe that the white thing on the top of the roof is a sculpture of several sculpted dicks, like the mermaid castle on the VHS cover of The Little Mermaid. I bet you're super glad you asked us to give you our opinions. Hey, Pestle. I am, thank you. One of the funniest and most controversial houses that was on the list was Iceland. I mean, look at it. What is this giving you? Like it's a fucking puffle coming out of a geothermal spa. What is going on? What is going on with this one? Some interesting comments that we got on this one were, what the fresh hell is this? Horrific polluting alien mess with windows. Why is it leaking pink water? If Barbie was evil. And then I got 4 comments that just said pumpkin in capitals. So, you know, we were really together on this one. Another interesting one that I wanted to talk about in particular that maybe my audience didn't really have any real comments on was North Korea. It had a pretty so-so response from the like and dislike voting that was happening, but notably better than Australia. But I actually really like this one. Not from a Barbie Dreamhouse point of view, but more from the toy perspective overall. I think North Korea is pretty well known for having fake shops and fake homes to make it look more homely and not like a country-sized prison for a baby man. So details like the car being on the upper level and the colors on the inside looking happy, but the outside looks pretty drab. I personally find that pretty compelling. Like, even Barbie can't save this. So I really thought that was a very interesting interpretation of what a dream house would be for Barbie in North Korea. I would love to hear what you all think in the comments on that one in particular. Now, Barbie's official home is in the United States. So I wanted to share that one with you because I felt it only fair. I really like this for Barbie. To me, it looks exactly like the dream houses that we all know and love, so it's kind of perfect for the United States. I can't hate it at all. I also want to mention that all of these comments that I received from my community were all anonymous. I don't know definitively who wrote any of the comments, but I want to give Two particular shout outs to two of my community members who I am certain wrote the comments that I received. And they're Dandy and Friendo, who gave me probably the most charismatic answers and just made me laugh out loud every time I had to read their response. Especially thinking about how Dandy was rewatching the performances in Glee while doing this quiz. That just tickles me so much. Now, much like others, Dandy took particular issue with the fidelity of the stairs in a lot of the locations, and I just think that that is just so incredibly funny to me, that the scale of little annoyed to I'm flat out just not answering this anymore throughout the whole questionnaire. This is just so funny. And I think Friendo is sharpening their elbows, ready to give Midjourney a piece of their mind and maybe a lesson in architecture. I also love the mention of the many phallic shaped sculptures on each of the houses that Friendo pointed out. I nearly didn't even recognize them myself until I saw Friendo's comments, so there you go. Friendo is criminally funny, and I am very privileged to know them. They also may have watched too many episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful, but that's not for me to comment on. All right, enough faffing about. Let's get to this damn list. So coming in at number 10, we have Hungry. This is giving such fairy tale vibes, and I'm completely obsessed with it. If it were in different colors, I would want this for me in real life. A lot of people mentioned that it looked like something out of a Disney movie, and particularly loved the roof. I think it's so fun, and I definitely think a doll could live here. Number 9 is Kazakhstan. Another one that is giving immense fairy tale vibes. Everyone was asking how much it was, and honestly, same. Kazakhstan has some really beautiful architecture, so it only makes sense that a Barbie Dreamhouse would also have that beautiful architecture that the country is known for. I'm a particular fan of the beautiful pink garden beds that are right at the end of the stairs. Doesn't really seem like the best idea practically, but Midjourney's never used stairs before, so I can't blame Midjourney for putting a garden bed at the end of them. It does also remind me of that abandoned Turkish village that has a plethora of castles. Yeah, it's a little bit giving that, but just not the abandoned part. At number 8, we have Antigua and Barbuda. This one came pretty early in the Google form. I remember being really impressed by it. It looks exactly like how I would imagine a holiday Barbie set would be. There are some stairs to nowhere here, but I think overall this one's a really good one. It has a lot of really fun elements. Trees inside? I won't be forgetting that one anytime soon. In at number 7, we have Norway. Absolutely stinking stunning. There are some serious stairs to nowhere in this one, but it's made up by the plethora of octagonal and hexagonal structures that make up this beauty. I love the shade of pink that was used here, and all of the flowers make it look so heavenly and beautiful. Number 6 goes to Argentina. The Art Nouveau inspiration is really what sells this one. I love all the curvy details on the windows and all the railing. I love that it sits among all these really normal buildings. There's something very amusing about that to me. I think nearly everyone wanted this house as their house. It's very, very romantic. There's some railing missing in the top left corner, which is definitely giving some Bridgerton level bad editing of architecture, but I'm willing to ignore it because it's just so beautiful. If you haven't seen the bad effects of the Bridgerton architecture, let me recommend you this Architectural Digest video. You've gotta watch it, it's so good. We're halfway. Coming in at number 5, we have Portugal. Wow. What a structure. I'm a big fan of symmetry, and this is really giving it. It's another one that was designed as if it was sitting among very regular buildings in a city. It feels almost like a gingerbread house, but like super regal. Like the gingerbread king lives here. There are so many gorgeous details, but don't look too close. There are some funky little railing situations, but it's stunning. I love the sort of quilted texture that's on the roof and on the sides of the building as well. Number 4, Moldova. Stop it. Stop it right now. I love every single thing about this. It is giving Barbie Fairytopia. I think I can see Bibble over there. It looks like somewhere I would fall in love, like, or Barbie. I guess. I'm losing my grip of what this even is. I just want to live here. I think that the near golden hour lighting is also really helping this image in creating an enchanting looking setting. We better just move on, otherwise I might just explode. Now into the top 3. All of these locations received full marks. The positions were determined by what the comments said. So if you did leave a comment, thank you. It helped in the eventual ranking of these houses. So in at number 3, we have Finland. I'm imagining a winter resort Barbie. She's on skis and she's in a hot pink snowsuit, curling up on the couch, hot cocoa. It's kind of giving The Shining, but I think that adds to the intrigue. I know a lot of people are voting based on having their husband mysteriously go missing at these locations. I think Finland's best fits that narrative. I hope that you're ready for a little bit of winter wonder with this one, because in at number 2, we have Canada. A lot of snowy locations I noticed got higher marks. Snow really adds to the wonder of it all, and I think as a Californian, Barbie would appreciate a little escape to something different than she's used to. I think overall, Canada probably has my favorite design. I don't know what that says about me, but I am an avid Christmas apologist, so that may have something to do with it. It's another location with a fair amount of symmetry, and I love the sort of acorn that sits atop the roof in the main frontage. Everything seems to make sense, and it has no egregious mid-journey mishaps happening, so that's really what gave it some points in the end. It's stunning. I screamed, actually. Now you've seen the rest of the top 10 list. Who could possibly have the top spot? Well, coming in at number 1, we have none other than the winner of this year's Eurovision, Sweden. It had a perfect score among my community, and I think that it's pretty well deserved. I think the lighting on this one really helps give it that warmth and inviting atmosphere. If I was going to the good place and had to design my perfect house for the whole of the afterlife, this is the house that I would be picking to live in. It is just immaculate. I love the gold elements that are breaking up all the pink at the top of the roof. I love the greenery that surrounds the house. It's just delightful. It's perfect for Barbie. It is the epitome of a dream house. So what did you think of the rankings of the countries that we saw? Did any country deserve to be higher? In the interest of sharing where our voting was spread, I've ranked the continents that were included in this. So at the top we have Europe, which is unsurprising, the Americas, which I grouped together, then we have Asia, Oceania, and Africa. I think Africa was mostly let down by the fact that it had just so many countries, and some of the countries got very low marks, but there are other countries that got very high marks. I'm looking at you, Congo. But I think overall that proves why I needed to have a disclaimer at the start of the video, because ultimately the majority of people are voting for what they're more familiar with, and that's mostly what they're gonna like. I'd love to know your favorites, so please definitely go and check out the original BuzzFeed article. Like I said it before, it's linked down below for your convenience. I can't wait to see the Barbie movie next week and potentially bring you some more Barbie content on this channel during our Barbie era. So stay safe, stay beautiful. Bye!